So H. pylori and Hashimoto's. So H. pylori is a bacteria that gets into your stomach. And when it gets into your stomach, it does bad things. Without getting into the entire chemistry of it, it essentially damages the cells in your, I'm sorry, I say damages. It essentially will fulminate, it will multiply, and it'll literally cover the inside of your stomach, and sometimes it'll even go farther into other parts of your system, but mainly your stomach. And then the cells in your stomach that make hydrochloric acid, the main acid that digests and sterilizes your food, cannot get to your food. It can damage those cells, but for the most part, if you have a H. pylori infection, in one of those two manners, it's going to decrease the ability of you to digest food. Now, H. pylori is probably the most contagious infection that man has. And yet, a lot of people don't know. It's called Helicobacter pylori, for those of you who like that type of stuff, okay? So it's the most common infection that man knows. And where can you get it? You mainly get it from other family members. You can get it from your dog. Some think you can get it from your cat, but it is highly transmissible. So essentially, when you get H. pylori, it creates an infection. So there are several pathogens that can cause infections. And all of them, you've heard of them. Some of them are like Epstein-Barr virus. Some of them are Lyme disease. Some are H. pylori. Some are Botox. Some of them are the cytomegaloviruses, Coxsackie viruses. All of these can either trigger and or exacerbate a present Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So it's very simple. They're there. They exacerbate immune responses because the immune system is trying to kill them. When the immune system flares up to try to kill them, it also can then flare up and attack the cells in your thyroid that are going to be damaged by the immune system that's already been told it's okay to attack the thyroid by your genetics. So it is the most common trigger. It is the most common pathogenic trigger for autoimmune thyroid disease. It resides in your stomach, and there's something tricky about it. Okay, I go a lot by the symptoms. If a person has acid indigestion, they're using antacids, they got burning in their stomach an hour or two afterwards. Maybe it feels like they have an ulcer. They take apple cider vinegar and they can't drink it because they have like a gastritis on the inside of their stomach. I'm going to look for H. pylori because it's so common. There is a small intestinal SIBO. I always get those two mixed up. There's an H. pylori breath test. There's breath tests for both of these, H. pylori and small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And there's an H. pylori breath test, and it's actually pretty accurate. So you can, if you suspect that, you can go to your doctor. I think there are even a lot of places online now where a lot of these testing centers are offering these kits online where they can send it to you at home, and then you'll do the breath test there and send it away, and they'll tell you whether they have H. pylori. So that's a good way of figuring it out. I tend to go by symptoms as much as anything. If I'm really on the fence, I will order an H. pylori breath test. And if you have it, it's not just so as much that it in of itself causes your immune system to flare up, and thus, because the immune system's trying to attack it, the immune system's trying to kill it. But at the same time, when the immune system flares up, it's going to attack everything else that it's already been said by your body's chemistry that it can attack. So if you have Hashimoto's, you have rheumatoid arthritis, you have lupus, it'll start attacking all of that too. So H. pylori can be a trigger against literally all of that, but it seems to be more of a trigger more specifically for Hashimoto's thyroid disease. So H. pylori, you have a bad stomach, and if you have H. pylori, you need to check that out and get that handled. And the other thing about H. pylori is it's if it keeps coming back, you have to start looking around to see who's giving it to you in your family, because you can get it through kissing, you can get it through smooching with your dog, you can get all those types of things. So if it keeps coming back, you need to have your family checked. You need to have all the members of your family checked, and if they all come back normal, then you have to have your dog checked. Okay, I mean seriously, it's that contagious. So that's H. pylori. Another tidbit or another piece of the puzzle for how to get your autoimmune thyroid disease under control.